Now we are going to learn about stomach. Yes? Here. From esophagus, food enters into stomach. Right? So stomach is a muscular bag. Where is the location of stomach? The location of stomach is below the abdominal cavity, left side of our abdominal cavity. It is a muscular bag. What is this? It is a muscular bag. And at the stomach, food gets churned with gastric juice and HCl. So gastric glands are present in stomach. Gastric glands are present in stomach. These secretes gastric juice. Yeah. HCl is harmful to our body. How stomach will protect from that HCl? This stomach contain mucus layer. What is this? Stomach contain mucus layer. This mucus layer protects the stomach from HCl. The food which enters from esophagus to stomach, in the stomach, food gets churned with HCl. Now, the food is in semi-solid condition. Semi-solid condition. What is the meaning of semi-solid? Semi-solid means neither solid nor liquid. It is the intermediary state between solid and liquid state. The digestion process goes on. Most of the proteins and carbohydrates broken down into smaller molecules with the help of an enzyme pepsin. Which enzyme? Pepsin. Here, mouth. We studied one enzyme, that amylase or ptyalin. And esophagus contain no enzymes. In stomach, one enzyme came, that is pepsin. What is the function of pepsin? What is the function of pepsin? The proteins which are present in food that are broken down with the help of this enzyme. Right. Food in the form of soft slimy substance when some proteins and carbohydrates have already been broken down. Yes. So some carbohydrates and proteins have already been broken down. So in that situation, food has in slimy status. So this is called chyme. What is that? Chyme. Remember, children? So we studied bolus here. Food mixed with saliva, that becomes to bolus. Yes. And here food is churned with HCl. And the carbohydrates and proteins are broken down and becomes chyme. Very important. You will get questions like the difference between bolus and chyme. And which enzymes acts in chyme state and which enzymes acts in bolus state. You will get questions like this. And here carbohydrates broken down. And here proteins broken down. Right? Okay. Now, the food material passes from stomach to the small intestine. Stomach to the small intestine. Yes, children? Right. So, between stomach and small intestine, there are sphincters. So, there are sphincters. So, what is the function of these sphincters? These are responsible for regulating the opening of the passage such that only small quantities of food material may be passed into the small intestine at the time. Okay? So, small quantities of food material passes into small intestine with the help of sphincters. Right? In mouth, carbohydrates broken down, and coming to the stomach, proteins broken down here. From stomach, food enters into small intestine. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Now food enters into small intestine. Okay. Coming to the next part, small intestine. What is our next part? Small intestine. And the small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. See children, this is small intestine. This is the longest part of alimentary canal. Its proximal part is called duodenum. This is proximal part of small intestine is called duodenum. It is the site for further digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Here one material came, fat. Here carbohydrates broken down, here proteins broken down, and here fats. And the remaining carbohydrates, proteins and fats are going to be broken down here. Yes, it receives the secretions from liver. So this is liver. So right side of our abdominal cavity contain liver. This liver secrete bile juice. Secrete bile juice. This bile juice comes from bile duct into duodenum. Bile juice comes from liver through bile duct into duodenum. So fats are digested in bile juice. Which are digested in bile juice? Fats. Fats are digested in bile juice. So these fats are converting into small globules like forms by the help of bile juice. Okay, fats are going to be converted into small globules. Small globules. This process is called emulsification. What is this process? Emulsification. Small intestine.
Okay.
Small intestine. Okay, we are studying about duodenum. This is proximal part of small intestine. It receives the secretions from pancreas and liver. Liver and pancreas. This liver secretes bile juice. This liver secretes bile juice. Bile juice has no enzymes. This bile acts on fats and these fats are converting into small globules by bile juice. This process is called emulsification. What is this process? Emulsification. Fats are digested here. Which are digested? Fats are digested. And then this is the pancreas. What is this? Pancreas. And pancreatic juice is secreted by pancreas. It contains enzymes like trypsin, lipase and amylase. Trypsin, lipase and amylase. So here pancreatic juice. Pancreas releases pancreatic juice. Trypsin, amylase, lipase. Trypsin, amylase, lipase. So lipase useful for the digestion of fats and amylase useful for the digestion of carbohydrates, and trypsin is useful for the digestion of proteins. Trypsin is useful for the digestion of proteins, lipase for fats, amylase for carbohydrates. Okay. Pancreatic juice contains trypsin, amylase, lipase. This trypsin acts on proteins, amylase acts on carbohydrates, lipase acts on fats. These all are going to be digest. These all are going to be digest. Trypsin, amylase, lipase. And some other intestinal glands or releases into small intestine. Some other intestinal glands or releases intestinal juice into small intestine. That intestinal juice contain another enzymes. Peptidase, sucrase. Right? This peptidase acts on proteins and this sucrase acts on carbohydrates. Don't get confused. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Proteins are made up of amino acids. This peptidases means these peptidases contain one or two amino acids. Peptidases contain one or two amino acids. And again, these one or two amino acids combine and join form peptidases. And these peptidases, one or two or more peptidases join together and forming proteins. One or more peptidases join together and forming proteins. Proteins are made up of amino acids. These peptidases contain one or two amino acids and more peptidases chains join together and forming proteins. So we can say, don't get confused. This peptidases acts on proteins. Again, this sucrase acts on carbohydrate. Here, how many enzymes came, children? Amylase, tyalin, pepsin, trypsin, lipase, peptidase and sucrase. How many enzymes came? Amylase or tyalin, trypsin, pepsin, lipase, peptidase, sucrase. This bile juice contains no enzymes. It has no enzymes. Okay. After the digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, fats in small intestine, what will happen? Then next step is transport. So transport of the products of digestion from the intestine into blood. Okay. Transport of the products of digestion from the intestine into blood. This process is called absorption. What is that process? Absorption. Okay. After digestion, so absorption process is going on. So internally, intestinal wall has a large number of finger-like projections. See, small intestine contain some finger-like projections. These finger-like projections are called villi. So what is the function of this villi? So we can call it as microvilli. What is the function of this microvilli? So this increases the surface area of absorption. Surface area for absorption. This increases surface area for absorption. Blood vessels and lymph vessels are present in the form of a network in the villi. What are present here? Blood vessels and lymph vessels. Blood vessels and lymph vessels are present in the form of a network in the villi. So here this is network-like structure. See children, this is villi. So finger-like projections we can observe. Finger-like projections. This is villi. So products of digestion are absorbed. The digestion after absorption. So what is happening here? Products of digestion are absorbed first into the villi and from there into the blood. So absorption. Where is occur in first absorption? In villi. After absorption, from villi to the blood vessels and lymph vessels. So first absorption is carrying here in villi. After maximum absorption of food in small intestine, after maximum absorption, what will happen? The remaining part, the remaining material passes into the large intestine. This is large intestine. Remaining material passes into the large intestine. And this material expelled out through anus. This remaining waste material expelled through anus. Here this is rectum, enters into rectum and then expelled through anus. The waste material also contain small amounts of proteins, fats and fiber. And this is the digestive system in human beings. What is this? Digestive system starts with mouth and ends with anus. We are taking food through mouth, and after digestion and after absorption, remaining material, waste material passes through this anus. Okay? Okay? Once we'll observe flow chart of human digestive system. See children, we are taking food through mouth. Yes. From here food enters into buccal cavity. Yes. From here pharynx. Pharynx to esophagus. Right? Esophagus to stomach. Stomach to small intestine. Here liver, pancreas. Secretions enters into small intestine. From here small intestine to large intestine. Large intestine to rectum. Rectum to anus. We are taking food through mouth. Then it enters into buccal cavity. Buccal cavity to pharynx. Pharynx to esophagus. Esophagus to stomach. Stomach to small intestine. Here liver and pancreas secreted juices. And then after absorption, small intestine to large intestine to rectum, and rectum to anus. In this lesson, you will get questions like what is ingestion, what is digestion, what is absorption, what is defecation, and what are the enzymes present in small intestine, and what are the enzymes secreted through pancreas. And like these questions you will get in this topic.